Welcome everybody to the heavy tank category of this year's World of Tanks Gold competition. Don't forget, if you want to be in with a chance of winning one of 4 1,000 gold prizes, leave a comment on this video letting me know which replay you think was the best. You can vote by either leaving the username of the person or the number of the replay that it is. So if it's the 3rd replay in the video, say replay number 3 or the username. All of these replays will be posted as separate videos so you can watch them at your leisure, but you will need to come back here to leave your comment to vote to be in with a chance of winning some gold. And remember, if one of your replays is featured in this video, I will be contacting you shortly on YouTube for your World of Tanks username, just to make sure, and then you will have automatically won a prize of 1,000 gold. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Road, if there's anybody in position, Awful Panther, it looks like he's making moves to come forward again, but again, thinks better of it. I think he's just trying to spot out via proxy everybody who he can. Keldor still in a fantastic position here. Finds the Awful Panther going back, in the side armor of the light tank for the Germans just a little bit too strong. Turns that shot aside as well. Object 704 from the platoon goes forward, so Keldor comes in after him. Does see the Awful Panther on the side. Finally gets a shot through the rear of that light tank. Been the luckiest light tank drivers so far, but he is now tracked and he's probably going to be history. Keldor trying to make a decision on who to shoot, goes for the T-28, takes him out for kill number 1. Object 704 getting a little bit of a battering now. He's got to fall back just a little bit, but it looks like the enemy is also falling back. Keldor's just holding his shot there because he didn't think that one was going to land flush on the T-29's armor. He's going to move forward just a little bit. There's a couple of Americans in there and the Waffenträger Panzer IV. Going to just try and focus in on the T-29. Gets a great shot on him. The Waffenträger threatens to come forward, but with the Object 704 there, doesn't decide to finish the move. And then he decides to get the hell out of there as Keldor was pretty much finished with his reload. So calling that one nicely. The other platoon mate in his M103 has turned up now, and the two of them going to set up on this corner. They don't have to worry about attacks from the rear, as they've got a Löwe and an AMX 5120 moving up in that position to keep them covered. Only one M103 able to get into a side-scraping position here. He turns one shot aside. Keldor waiting for him to fire, but it looks like he's holding his shot. Doesn't quite have anything to do here. Doesn't turn that shot aside. Keldor gets a great shot through the front of the T-30. T-30 obviously not loaded at that point, or he would have taken a big punch in the face. Allied M103 just again still trying to side scrape, does turn that shot aside very, very nicely. Keldor going to come around the left-hand side. This Object 704 is set up and dueling with the Panzer, the Waffenträger Panzer IV, so Keldor doesn't want to go in front of him. Going to move back and offer some support to his platoon mate now. Just going to decide to poke himself out. Hopefully the T-30 has already fired, but it looks like he hadn't, and Keldor takes a massive punch in the face from that heat ammunition from that T-30. T-30 almost down, but he's got 10 hit points left. Keldor's going to have to just take one for the team and get out there, although that one just bounces on the side as well. A little bit unfortunate. Not having a fantastic game so far. Bounced a couple of shots on that Awful Panther. And now the base is getting capped, and as you can see, Keldor wastes absolutely no time whatsoever. That's a mistake that a lot of players make. When that siren starts going off, they think to themselves, well, I'll get 1 or 2 more hits on the enemy here, and then I'll drop back and do something about the base. But oftentimes that doesn't leave enough time to actually reach the base. And as soon as that siren goes off, Keldor spinning himself around, being very map aware, and going for the Allied base. As you can see, a second tank has arrived in that cap circle now. It's a good job he did head back. There's a lot of enemy tanks streaming down that right-hand flank by the looks of it. Does see the T-21. He is unfortunately through a wall, lines up where he thinks the tank is. What a beautiful shot to take him out for kill number 2 there. Now he's got to square off against an SU-152. Somehow manages to bounce his shot. Keldor going to focus down, try and take his track out. What a beautiful shot to get through the track and get some damage on him. Then the artillery rains in to finish him off. That just leaves us this Centurion 7-1. Tries to go for another shot through the wall there, but not quite able. Artillery rains down on the Centurion's head. Centurion gets some retribution by taking out the Löwe. And Keldor feels in a much better position to come and assault this guy now that he's not on full health. He bounces a shot on the side armor there. Does a great job of side scraping in the open field there. Jinking just to the left as he fired. Does take one shot, but gets one back in return to take him out. Game looking all square at 9 kills to 9 at the moment. Just pulled that one ahead ever so slightly at 10 to 9. But it looks like his ally in the M103 is going to be in serious trouble in the centre there. He is getting flanked, although he does manage to take out the T28. No, he managed to take out the T54 with him. T28 prototype does survive, but he's only on 68 health, so if Keldor can reach there pretty quickly, should be able to eliminate him. They've got an enemy M103 with 1500 health, and then the 2 artillery pieces. Looks like both of them pushing down this left-hand side. Keldor just waiting a little bit, going to set up and try and take out this T28 prototype as he comes around the corner. There he is. Focuses just long enough, but only gets a critical hit. He decides to back off as he doesn't want to take any damage. Trying to get into a side-scraping position, but the T28 prototype takes out his track. Uses his repair kit in order to eliminate the T28, and eliminate him he does for kill number 4. And that just leaves the enemy M103 now. GW Tiger landed a good shot on him. Keldor thinking about just charging down this M103. GW Tiger taking cover here. Good piece of bait to have a low health artillery piece here. The enemy artillery doing a good job of taking out that GW Tiger. He's just going to come steaming around the corner. Takes a hit, but it doesn't do any damage. He's got all the time in the world. Fires his shot, but I'm not sure where that one went. I didn't even see. He's keeping his gun raised in the air, able to take out the enemy M103 for kill number 5, and that just leaves 2 artillery pieces. Can't be taking this one easy just yet, though. Let's see how much health that Lurva has. He only has 387 hit points, so that Lurva's definitely a one-shot. Keldor can probably take 2. Unless he gets penetrated in the side or the rear. Looks like the 2 of them just going to close in on the enemy cap circle and try and put an end to this one. To be honest, last time the enemy artillery was spotted was in that A0, but if they are worth their salt, they will have ran all the way down that 9 and 0 line. But then again, it's not very often that you find an artillery player that has that much brains. Let's give these guys the benefit of the doubt. They should have really ran down the 9-10 line, or at least one of them should have ran down the 9-10 line, and maybe gone to threaten the base. As it is, the M4043 is here, sets him on fire, but he's got an automatic fire extinguisher on his 400 hit point artillery piece. But it saved his life, so we can't really complain. M4043 staying in position, probably aiming at this location. Unfortunately, if he doesn't make a run for it, he is going to be dead meat. Because let's face it, it's going to be easier for Keldor to poke his head out and get a snapshot at the M4043 than it will be for the M40 to pre-aim on this location. Thinking about flanking around this way, but it looks like the Lurva's got the same idea, and he just takes that position, so Keldor going to head back. I think enough time has elapsed for him to have changed his aiming position, maybe now aiming at the Lurva, as he has appeared. And a focus down takes him out for kill number 6, and that just leaves us SU-14-2. Like I said, he's probably made a run down that 0 line as he was last spotted near 0. Artillery shells land in. Didn't quite see where that one came from. The Lurva's heading to his right, so maybe came from that direction. Keldor not giving the artillery the benefit of the doubt, and he's just making a beeline for A0, and there we go. True to form, the artillery is still camped at A0, exactly the same spot, hasn't moved all game, and that's going to cost him his life. Takes 400 damage to the face. This Lurva's probably going to come in from the side and finish him off. Nope, he's got a building between him, so Keldor going to have a blind shot. Nope, looks like he is making a move now, but it's too little too late with only 11 hit points left. Can he get one last shot on him for one last kill? He can't, but he still gets a Top Gun medal, almost 4,000 points of damage, and really coming up big for his team. So awesome replay there from Keldor. Thank you very much for sending that one in. And this competition replay is from the user. Bear with me while I mangle this pronunciation. Dom Stadkurl, or Dom Stadkurl. No idea, we're just going to call him Dom, you can read his name, but he's driving the Chinese 110 on a standard battle on the northwest. 110 is a tier 8 heavy tank for the Chinese. This thing's very nice, it's got that piked front like the Soviet tanks, like the IS-3 there. Sorry, I've just had a complete brain meltdown and forgot what some of the tanks were called. And he is going to be heading straight up the northern flank here. Going to be heading up and Most of the team seems to be heading this way. So this is possibly going to set up a situation where they get into trouble and the southern flank gets wiped out very, very quickly. And then they have to carousel around before the base gets captured here. And Dom going to be heading all the way along here. Not quite seeing anybody just yet. Does spot out a few tanks. We've got that Knerven coming up the far left-hand side and the Jagdtiger 88 coming through the centre. Looks like they've got a good smattering of tanks here and there, which are going to at least spot anybody that comes in. Dom just going to be pushing on, coming up to support the KV-13 from the rear here. Going to be just heading across. Nope, decides to cut left and just go across the train tracks. Looks like there's only this Knerven here. But looks like he may have free reign just to do what he likes. This Knerven's pushing forward as he only sees this KV-13. Missed that shot there. He did fire fully on the move. The Knerven does manage to get some damage in return. Got to be careful, because this British tank does fire very, very quickly. Although, it doesn't matter how quick he fires when you take out his ammo rack for 1,177 points of damage. Excellent, excellent piece of luck there to get him out of the battle very, very quickly. And then the IS-2 falls as well, so going to continue to push on. Takes a little bit of track damage from that SU-100. SU-122-44 not being able to do anything in return. At least the Knerven's being good-natured in the chat, just posting lol there, as nobody expects to get ammo racked on the second hit of the battle. Going to be continuing to push forward here. Finds the SU-100, gets a lovely shot on the move at him. He changed his mind and fires at the charging KV-13 instead. Dom's just not going to allow him to get away. Comes in, decides to fire at him rather than ramming him. Doesn't want to lose any hit points himself. Now he's going to push on to the center of the map. Can see a Chi-Ri there and a Jagdtiger 88 on his far right-hand side. In fact, there's quite a lot of enemy tanks here, but they're all sort of spread out. Nobody's really concentrated in any kind of location. Does find the side of a T-28 prototype. Does a good job taking out his track and getting some damage. Looks like he's used his repair kit. Got an 8-second reload on his own gun. Tries to take out his track from the front there, but just about misses that one. T-28 prototype has managed to spin all the way around now, so Dom's going to have to try and find his weak spot. Goes for the flat front part of the turret then, gets the shot through for the damage to take him out, and that's kill number 3. Going to head further down now into the center of the map. Got a Jagdtiger 88 on his right-hand side. Looks like the Jagdtiger 88 is in sniper mode, looking far off in the distance as he hasn't spotted Dom here. He takes 2 big hits. He's still looking in the distance, just manages to reverse in time to not take that other hit. Does stop, and he's going to try and get some damage onto whoever it is he's looking at in the distance, but gives up his life for not being too aware of what's going on. It's a great shot through the track of that T-34, and he can just drop it back while he reloads. Hopefully that T-34 decides to select a different target as he's taking damage from every single direction here. He's only got a little bit of hit points left. Dom's able to get a shot and take him out for kill number 4. It looks like the Allies have found the rat's nest here. They are pushing in on that left-hand side in the north. Dom's going to see who he can find. Probably should go and help his allies there, as that's quite a lot of enemy tanks. The 4502A in his platoon only got 400 hit points there. He's not going to be able to survive very long. SU-122-44 looks like he's making a run for it. He's got a T-37 on his right-hand side, and he gets taken out. So the enemy team has nowhere to run here. Finds a Tiger 1, going to easily get shots through his side. Thinking about going for the Type 59 instead, but he was just able to get into cover in time. Tiger 1 takes a big hit. Gonna see if he can get another one here. He doesn't really know what he's doing. I think his turret may be stuck. Or maybe he just doesn't know how to use mouse and keyboard at the same time. He's looking all over the place, and he gets taken out now for kill number 5. E25 making a run for it across the top of the base there. He's probably going to be coming down that side road to try and break out of this little situation that's going on. Gets a shot at the T-37, but doesn't quite land that one. Takes a hit in the side from this Cromwell. Got to be careful, because good Cromwell drivers will wreck your day with their speed and agility. He gets his track taken out. Uses his repair kit just to fix that one. Cromwell doesn't go for a second tracking shot, and he's just going to get tracked all the way around. He's able to take him out for kill number 6, and that just leaves his T-37 and E25. E25 last spotted making a run down south. He was taking some hits from the front here. Almost certainly going to be that T-37. He fired and ran, but now he's got to have to try and make a move away from that Type 59. Lets his gun close in. Doesn't quite land that one. Going to try and see if he can ram the T-37, but he's got nowhere near the speed. T-37 lands one good shot. One is all Dom needs. He takes him out for kill number 7. And that just leaves this E-25, who was last spotted making a run for it across the south of the map. He's got 7 kills. It would be very nice if he could get one more on this E25 to get his Radley Walters medal. And to be honest, even if he doesn't, he's had a stonking game with 5,500 points of damage as E25 makes another run for it. Although he's headed off by that T-34, he gets taken out. That's GG and the victory. And that's an awesome game there from Don Stadka. Picking himself up 7 kills and 5,500 points of damage and really been instrumental in his team's victory, flanking around the side of the enemy team and just picking them apart. So awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in.
Let's get this show on the road.
And this competition replay was sent in by the user Lois Sherman 13. That's Lois Sherman 13, and he's driving the T110E5 on a standard battle on Himmelsdorf. T110E5 being a tier 10 heavy tank for the Americans. Thing's a pretty nice tank, has a half decent cannon on it, good penetration and damage. It's reasonably well armoured and quite manoeuvrable for its tier and weight class. So straight away, Sherman going to be heading to the right hand side, going to be setting up on Banana here. Trying to get a hit on this IS-3, but this Rheinmetall's being a little bit in the way. Rheinmetall takes a big shot to the face. Not really sure why he's here. Really, tanks with decent turret armor are the ones that want to set up in this position. As it is, the Rheinmetall has no turret armor whatsoever. And as you can see, he just gets taken out very, very quickly indeed. Has a shot at the IS-3 there, but not quite able to put it through the turret, even though it's only a tier 8 heavy tank. Still very well armoured. The turret on that thing can be difficult to penetrate if you don't focus in exactly on the weak spots. And Sherman didn't quite do that there. Does take a hit from the IS-3. That one wasn't able to penetrate. IS-3 not got quite a big enough gun. Sherman snapshotted in return, but just missed that one. Does focus in on the weak spot that time, but again, not quite... doesn't quite have the accuracy. Pulls himself back into cover. Doesn't want to make himself an easy target. IS-3 has another shot and misses. Sherman just bounces that shot. Decides to try and maybe switch it up to go for the T-34 instead. Although an AT-15 does come into view and he gets a great shot onto his weak spot. And get a little bit more damage here. Holding off 4 tanks at the moment single-handedly. A T-34, IS-3. Not sure what the other one is in this AT-15. So doing a fantastic job at the moment. He's just on his own holding off these tanks, although they are getting pushed heavily on that left-hand side. Does take a hit from somebody while he's backed off, probably through the side of the turret, trying to defend this attack. He's going to have to pay some attention over there now, as all they've got is a T-49, and he's running away. Gets a great shot through the rear of that WZ, but he's got to be careful, because the guys on the Banana Road, if they are smart, they'll be pushing down right about now. Trying to get a shot through the side of that Knev, and he does indeed. Knev not able to get any return damage. Guys on the Banana Road know for a fact that he's bailed now, so they're almost certainly going to be coming down and pressurizing. He's playing very, very smart, though. He knows his map and he knows the situation, that they've got enough tanks on that left-hand side to stem the flow there. So he drops back to this position here in an effort to head off the guys who are almost certainly going to be pushing down Banana. Takes a hit from the T-34. T-34 doesn't care if you are well armoured. It has a ridiculous cannon. IS-3 hoves into view behind him. Sherman trying to block, use the T-34's cover, but the IS-3 just decides to go ham and goes all the way around the side of the T-110E5 here, but he's able to take out the T-34 very quickly, get his front armour onto target on this IS-3. Not quite got the gun depression to get straight through the weak spot there. Not quite able to get a damaging shot. Hopefully this one will go through and do some damage. There we go. Is able to do some damage to this IS-3. IS-3 very tough when turret hugging like this. And then again, so is the T-110E5. He backs off. Sherman takes him out for kill number 2. And that's the tanks on Banana all dealt with, except maybe this AT-15, not really sure where he is. To be honest, he should have really pushed with the enemy tanks, and he should have been here a long time ago. He's slow, but not that slow. He's almost certainly going to have dropped back and tried to go down a different flank. Battle on the hill was going well in the favour of the Allied team, but it looks like they've just been mopped up there by the T-54 and Object 140 to high-tier Russian medium tanks, just making short work of everybody. Just having a quick look for that AT-15, thinking he may have transitioned to the other flank, and he would have been able to get some side damage onto him. But he's not there. Looks like the AMX 1390 is going for the base capture. He's just setting up just in case somebody decides to make a move along this way, which indeed they do. Gets a great shot through the side of that Object 140. And then he gets taken out by that Panther 88. Two tanks lying in wait. T-54 decides to just come and charge down the T-110E5. Not a smart idea, as he gets taken out for kill number 3. And this game is very, very even at the moment. There is this AMX 1390 and T-54E1 threatening the base. There's an AT-15 up on the hill. So it looks like that's where Sherman may be going. AMX 1390 is trying to escape along here. They've got the roads closed off. Gets a great shot to take his track out. Just got to angle his armour nicely. The AMX 1390 is never going to be able to penetrate the front of the T-110E5. So he's trying to carousel around. Lord Sherman has the traverse speed though, and he gets 2 good hits on this AMX 1390, who now is trying to run the hell away. Panther 88 isn't going to be able to stop him, as he's got to worry about the Object 704, but Sherman takes out the AMX 1390. Object 704 makes short work of the Panther 88, and the artillery comes in for the finisher, takes him out. Object 704 knows that Sherman's here, gets a shot at him, but doesn't quite land any damage. And this is going to be a difficult battle because this T-32 may not arrive in time. All this Object 704 needs is 1 good hit. Gets his track taken out, but he's either got a very high repair skill or uses that repair kit, as that only took about 6 seconds to repair that track. Now Sherman's got to play it very carefully. Object 704 fires at the wreck of the IS-3 for some reason and then backs off. Lord Sherman gets a great shot to take out his other track. Doesn't quite get any damage, but he is able to outmaneuver the Object 704. And the Object 704's got to play this one very, very carefully. Does a great job of getting alongside the T-110E5, but he's not quite heavy enough to push him out of the way. And Lord Sherman's trying to stay hugging the side of him. Troll armor of the Russian tank destroyer coming into play there. He's going to try and turret hook him, keeping moving so that he doesn't have an easy shot. This T-32 should have really come in to try and help him. I don't know what he's doing running to the other side of the battlefield. He should have been in behind this Object 704, applying shots to his rear. As it is, he's made a run for it, and it looks like it's all going to be over for Lord Sherman any minute now. He's got to try and get 1 shot through the front. He does indeed, takes him out for kill number 5, and that was an excellent, excellent piece of dueling there. But I have no idea what that T-32 was thinking, why he's made a run for it. Maybe he wants the glory, wants to try and take out the artillery. Got to be careful, because this AT-15 was last spotted on the hill, and he could have started to make a move. He could come from behind. AT-15 not really known for its speed, but when he's got all the time in the world to plan his maneuver, there he is there, the AT-15. He doesn't have a very good cannon, so this one's going to be difficult for him. Had some HE loaded for the artillery, as it is, takes out the track of the AT-15, gets along behind him, gets another good shot at the track. Not able to get any damage along with it, but that doesn't really matter just yet. Just want to keep him immobilized for as long as possible. Gets a great shot there to take his track out. And this is the last guy left. The T-32 finally able to take out the artillery. Gets another good shot through the rear. He's down to using heat ammunition because he's got no AP left. 1 more shot should be enough to take out this AT-15. Takes him out, he does. Picks him up a well-deserved Top Gun medal. 9,000 points of damage. Well, let's say it's definitely over 9,000 points of damage. 6 kills, GG, and the victory. So awesome replay there from Lord Sherman 13. doing an excellent, excellent job of pretty much winning that game for his team. So thank you very much for sending that replay in.
Let's go.
And this competition replay is from the user Killer B. That is Killer B, and he's driving the FCM50T on a standard battle on Malinovka. FCM50T, bit of tier 8 heavy tank for the French. So straight away, Killer B going to be heading to the left-hand side, probably going to be heading up that hill. You know what Malinovka's like, it's a long, slow trek to the inevitable demise from artillery that will almost certainly transpire up on the hill. Although he has spotted out an ELC here, not quite able to land anything as there are other tanks in the way. And that just looks like it's turned into a massive waste of time for everybody. You know, this ELC is pushing for some reason, has a shot but misses. Hopefully somebody can take this guy out. It looks like he might just be going for a scout medal, because there's not really going to be much he can achieve here. He gets taken out by Killer B, so at least stopping yielded some kind of results. And then you resume the normal trudge all the way up the hill to inevitably die to artillery. So we're just going to speed this one up. 2 light tanks stopping at the church for some reason. Not really sure what they're going to achieve there. I think Killer B may have been thinking the same thing as he just has a little look at them. Everybody looking like they want to hide at the church. Killer B the only guy on the hill at the moment. So he's going to have to play it carefully as he doesn't really have any support. And any support that he could have is also stopped at that church and is going to be really, really slow to get up the hill in the form of those 2 KV2s. As a quick look towards the centre there, as there is a T-71. Not quite able to get the gun depression to get anything on him. French tanks have notoriously bad gun depression. There we go, able to get into a position. Going to allow his gun to close in just a little bit more. That's the best he's going to get. Gets a lovely shot onto him as he backs off at 570 metres. That was an excellent shot. You can see the gun reticule not going to close any more than this, and the T-71 is a small tank. You can only see the very top of his turret. Has a shot there, but it looks like he gets taken out by the E8 Sherman while his shell is still in the air. Spots the side of an ISU 152 here. Gets a lovely shot there. So he only got a 6-second reload, and for a heavy tank, that's pretty damn good. Going to try and get a second shot here. Going to have to be at the front armour there, as he is able to get it onto target. It's been quite lucky here that there hasn't been a lot more tanks pushing up this hill. There is a Tiger 2 here now, but these 2 KV2s are now en route. There is an IS-3 also camping at the church. And there we go. The only reason we thought that there weren't more tanks on the hill is because they weren't spotted. There is a VK and a T-32, is that? Up the top there. That is a T-34. Looks like the Tiger 2's focusing in on one of those KV2s, so Killer B just going to pop himself out and have a shot at him. They're almost certainly going to have the reload on him. He fires. Looks like he's got the stock turret, so if worst comes to worst, you can just shoot him in the face, and those ones are pretty much going to be guaranteed to penetrate. Tiger P coming in from the left-hand side. Not quite got the alpha damage to take him out, but it looks like he just rams the side of the 50T and kills himself. But practically no damage whatsoever. So very, very smart play there from that Tiger P. T-34 looking like he wants to come in as well, but he gets shot by probably that IS-3. Killer B going to be looking, gets a great shot through his track there, but not quite able to go through the armor. A little bit unfortunate. Still got to pay attention to this Tiger 2 here. He doesn't want to take free damage from him. He gets taken out by the IS-3, and that just leaves this Tiger 2 to duel with now. Going to put one through his side armor as he backs off, but the ISU 152 from earlier is now making his way up the hill. He's only got 500 hit points, but that's at least a couple of shots from Killer B, as he doesn't really have the alpha damage. This IS-3 is moving up to behind the rock to offer some support. Better late than never, I suppose. This battle not going well in their favour at 5 kills to 8 to the enemy. And wait for this Tiger to head around the corner. Gets a great shot onto him. He's got a lot more brawling ability than this stock Tiger 2, but the FCM doesn't really have very good armor, so got to play it carefully. One shot through this turret should be enough. He takes him out for kill number 3. And this ISU 152 is in a world of trouble now as the light tanks finally decide to show up and put their mark on the game. Although the 152 does get taken out by the IS-3. So now going to have to head back towards the base. They've won the fight for the hill, But it looks like they may have to abandon it, as there is an IS-3 and an AMX-12T in and around their base. Also a T-28 prototype making a beeline across the way there, as there was only that Centurion 1 close to their cap circle, and he gets taken out. ARL-44 is in there to spot. Has a blind shot, but probably doesn't land that one, as it would have taken him out. Losing this one 11 kills to 7 at the moment. IS-3 also seeing which way the wind's blowing. He abandons the hill, going to move down towards the base. Had a pretty good game so far. 2,000 points of damage and 3 kills. Just having a quick look. Does find the IS-3. He is out in the open, and he's going to be in all sorts of trouble now, because he doesn't have any cover anywhere near him whatsoever, and he's going to take shots from all angles here. Looks like he doesn't see Killer B. Only saw the ARL there. The ARL's going to get pounded now, as he hasn't taken cover at all quick enough. Still losing this one at 8 kills to 12. The IS-3's moving in down the A line. The ARL has now dropped back into cover. There's just the 3 of them left. I'm going to have to try and cover the base, as the last time a lot of these tanks were spotted was making their way towards the base. T-28 prototype crossing the open field. That IS probably almost certainly came with them when they realised that the Centurion 1 was the last defender in the base. Not really sure where this AMX-12T is. We're going to speed this one up again until we get back into the action, as Malinovka tends to have these long pauses. T-25-2 making a move across the field there underneath the hill. Killer B takes a couple of hits there. Couple from the T-25 and one from the side. Not really sure who the one from the side was from. Maybe from that T-28 prototype, but I thought he was in cover. Maybe he wasn't. T-28 prototype is also going to be in loads and loads of trouble here, as he also has no cover. Killer B's landing some excellent shots at range here. That one was also at about 570 meters, and that one was a fantastic kill. The IS-3 falls to the T-28 prototype. Going to try and get a shot on this 12T. What a beautiful shot to take him out there. Almost having to fire that one blind, as the 12T was about to fade away. Did land the shot with him travelling at almost full speed. You can see he switched to APCR rounds here, because he's going to try and find this AT-7. Going to have to try and get the side of him. He hasn't been spotted here. Gets a beautiful shot through the side of the AT-7. You can just guarantee the AT-7's going to either get into cover or just straighten up and put his front armor onto target. It's going to be a lot more difficult for Killer B to penetrate, although it looks like he can just put shots down into the roof. Having the high ground here, he's going to be able to rain shots down on the top of the the AT-7. The AT-7's going to have to... He can't really stop in the middle of the open there. He's going to have to make a move and try and even up the elevation here. It does take a big hit from the artillery, and now he's in trouble. Only got 162 hit points, which means he can't really duel at all with the AT-7. He can't afford to take any damage whatsoever. Having a little bit of a rage in chat just because it's him versus 4 tanks. I'd probably be doing exactly the same thing here. Too busy typing in chat there, and he takes another shot from that M44. He reloads very, very quickly. Only got 80 hit points left now, so if he hadn't had a little bit of a complaint in chat, probably had a little bit more hit points left. I'm going to see if he can get anything done here. Even if he can just take a couple of them out, then he can have an excellent game. He's already got a Top Gun medal and 4,000 points of damage. He's using his speed to carousel around the AT-7. And that's not something you hear about a heavy tank very often, using its speed, but when compared with an AT-7, anything, it really is fast. And gets a beautiful shot to finish him off, and that's kill number 7. Now going to have to make a beeline for the base, but he's going to have to be careful because he knows the artillery is focused on the area, because he's the only tank left. And that M44 has a very deceptive reload. Puts one in the ground behind where he used to be. Still an IS and a T-34-85. Like I said, can't afford to take any damage, but maybe he can pick himself up a Defender medal. And he's got a Top Gun medal, so he's had a decent game. Backs off just a little bit. Looks like the IS may have been looking in this location, but may have just been scanning around the area. Has another shot. That one just missed. As you can see, it landed on the ground. Looks like he hasn't been spotted, as the artillery hasn't wrecked him just yet. going to focus in on this IS. IS really should just wait there for the T-34-85, and the two of them can either assault this position or they can both cap together. Really, the T-34-85 needs to come through the open field behind where the FCM is of Killer B. And then the IS, as the T-34-85 arrives, moves into the cap circle to get Killer B to fire, and that'll reveal his location to the T-34-85. Although, to be honest, T-34-85 could very well be AFK. He has 0 kills, and he's never been spotted. And in fact, the M44 is making a move across the open field, gets a beautiful shot there on the move, but not quite able to take him out. Not sure where the M44's shot goes, but it flies through the air ineffectually. And he's able to exact his revenge and get himself a Radley Walters medal. But like I said, the T-34-85 should really be making a move the same way that the M44 did. But with the M44 making the move instead, begs the question is the T-34-85 AFK? So he hasn't been spotted all game, he has no kills, we don't know if he's actually done anything. Troll armor of the IS coming into play there. Looks like the IS doesn't know where the FCM is, as he's just looking randomly. Looks like he's got enough bushes to keep him hidden here. He does now move into the cap circle. Gets another great hit onto his rear there. It looks like he may have taken his track out, as the IS hasn't done anything about running away. Although he did start to traverse his turret. So that means that Killer B is almost certainly spotted here. So he's going to have to move. There's the T-34-85. Not AFK at all. Making a move towards the base there. Looks like he's not bothered with trying to shoot the FCM. Does traverse his turret half-heartedly in this direction, but it's nowhere near focused enough. He should really just come around the corner. Killer B only got 83 hit points. He can just charge him down. To be honest, he could probably ram him and take him out, although that might not be a good idea, as we saw the Tiger P ram the side of this tank earlier and explode into a shower of flame and metal. So it looks like the T-34-85 going for the base capture instead. Only 1 minute and 50 left on the clock. And he's going to have to come in and decap this. Does find the 34-85. Continues to move. Puts a rock between himself and the T-34-85. T-34-85 hides behind the corpse of the T-28 prototype. Killer B can't see any of the 34-85 at all. So he moves around the left-hand side of the rock. Still can't see anything. That T-28 prototype providing excellent cover. So Killer B going to charge forward. He's got 50 seconds to think of something to do. He gets into cover. To be honest, I'm not sure what this T-34-85 is thinking. He could just move around this T-28, get to the side of this FCM-50T, put one shot into him and win the game for his team. But as it is, he's moving. No idea what was going through his head there. But as it is, Killer B picks himself up 6,500 points of damage, almost 7,000, 10 kills, pools medal, and single-handedly at the end wins that one for his team. So awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. And this competition replay was sent in by the user Bargod. That is Bargod, and he's driving the IS-6 on a standard battle on the steppes. IS-6 being a tier 8 heavy tank for the Russians. So straight away, Bargod going to be heading to this right-hand flank. Got a few tanks heading that way. Most of the team is going to the left-hand side. A couple of tanks a little bit indecisive in the centre there. The slow KV-4 making a move now. Tiger 1 still undecided or AFK. Bargod going to be the only other heavy tank making a move this way. In fact, now the only heavy tank making a move this way as the T-34 takes up a sniping position amongst the rocks. Got the backup of 2 decent medium tanks and a light tank here. Trying to focus in on this A44, but he just gets away. Does find his counterpart IS-6 here. Trying to focus in on a spot that he can penetrate, and penetrate he does. Looks like he may have hit the turret ring there. And that IS-6 bails down onto the lower ground. That T-44 is going to have to get out of there as he's taking considerable damage. Bargod's up in the air on this elevated plateau there, so he's got to take cover as well. Enemy IS-6 has just fired, so he's going to try and steam over the top and get some damage onto him. aiming in on the turret there. Bounces one shot from the left and one shot from the IS-6. Does take a couple of bits of damage there from other tanks. Doesn't quite have the gun depression to be able to hit the other IS-6. Well, the IS-6 got to focus on the guys coming from his right-hand side. Does have a shot at the Tiger P there, but that one didn't quite land. T-44 taking a little bit more fire, distracting this IS-6 here, but the IS-6 is focusing up on this hill here, as he knows that's where the biggest threat is coming from. T-44 uses this opportunity to move around the side of the IS-6, and then Bargod uses that as his signal to move as well, and they all close the net around him and take him out. He was way too far forward without the support of his team. And now they're going to move forward and try and take out this Tiger P. T-20 just stops short. Doesn't want to be the only one trying to make a move around this Tiger P. As it is, Bargod's going to just continue down. T-21 coming from the left-hand side. T-20 from the front. Bargod's going to try and get a shot here. He gets the side of the turret for kill number 2. And that's the right-hand flank pretty much won. Left-hand flank is going okay for the Allies. It looks like a little bit of a stalemate at the moment. T-34 now also moving. A little bit of a bug with the replay file there. Every now and then the camera just detaches from the tank for no good reason. And you can see where the majority of the enemy team is now. They are all camped along that ridge line with absolutely nobody to shoot at. So they basically just sat there and watched their team get murdered on the right-hand side. Gets a lovely long-range shot at 462 meters to take out that GW Panther there. So yeah, the enemy team just pretty much just sat in the center here and watched their team get murdered while having no targets whatsoever to fire at. And they are just going to get ripped apart if they don't react to this now. Does find the A44 from earlier. He takes out the 121, or the T21 even. Apparently I can't read anymore. So going to be squaring off against this Panther. Looks like the Panther's focusing on somebody else. Gets a great shot through his turret. Just using his armor now to bully the opposition out of the way. Jagdtiger 88 looking to the right-hand flank, so he should be able to get the side armor here. Got to spend some time aiming, as this gun isn't the most accurate in the world. Gets a great shot there. Bounces another hit from the front against somebody. Like I said, just using his armor to bully the enemy team out of the way. The Tiger 88 falls. One shot is all that he needs. No, it's not. He doesn't have the alpha damage. I don't know what I'm talking about. Got that troll side armor. Managed to turn aside the shot from the Panther. He's trying to get a hit on this ARL. But he's just in cover. Got to be aware that A44 is now up in the mountains. He could now be taking some shots from him. Does bounce one hit from his right. Didn't quite land that shot. A44 peppering the IS-6 with shells. He's doing the smart thing of not pointing his gun at the A44 till he's ready to fire. Because that A44 is going to try and make a move as soon as the gun's pointed at him. Very smart little piece of play there from Bargod, just not to focus on the A44 till he was ready to take that shot, and he points his gun at him and blows him away. Takes a good hit from the ARL as he comes over the top of the ridge, but he just doesn't really care and takes him out. Got a Rheinmetall ahead of him. Got to be careful, as a Rheinmetall's always a danger with that huge cannon. Looks like he's firing at somebody else, so he can use that opportunity to make a move forwards. Got a T-34 and the T-20 in support. The Panther from earlier. Just one shot is all he's going to need this time, and he takes him out for kill number 6. Got the high explosive shells loaded just to take out this Rheinmetall. Doesn't want to leave anything to chance. I'm going to try and focus on the gun shield. Does get the gun shield, takes him out. Now he's going to focus on this VK3601. To be honest, VK3601 has a nice gun, but I don't think he's going to have enough to be able to do much to this IS-6. Looks like he's using the 88mm, which has less penetration than the Cornish, or at least it used to. And Bargod having a storming game so far. He's just absolutely wrecked the guys who were camping on the ridgeline. Came in from that right-hand side and just punched a hole through the side of the enemy formation and just had his way with them. Finds the rear of a Super Pershing here. Always nice to find that. Gets a great shot to take out the track at the same time. If he can put some pressure on and get in closer, he may be able to get another shot on the Super Pershing. Looks like the Super Pershing's looking this way, but the armor of the IS-6 cares not, and he takes out the Super Pershing for a well-deserved Radley Walters medal. VK3601 and IS-3 have both made a run for this rock formation. Probably going to make this area their last stand, as they have a T-20 closing in, and they have a Tiger 1 coming from the right-hand side. It looks like, yep, they are going to make this their last stand. This will be their Alamo. T-20 being a pal and telling the IS-6 to go for his Pools medal. He's got all the time in the world. Gets the rear of both gets the rear of the VK to take him out. And this IS-6 is going to be more than a match for the IS-3. IS-3 doing the smart thing though of trying to turret hug. Bargod just backs off a little bit, trying to find a weak spot. Going for the top of the turret. Gets a beautiful shot there through the commander's hatch. IS-3 fires and misses. Maybe firing at the T-20 as he's a softer target. Bargod needs one more shot. Takes him out for kill number 10. Almost 6,000 points of damage. GG and the victory. Using his IS-6 as a blunt instrument. Using his armor to his advantage to just bully the enemy team and punch holes through their formations. It's awesome replay there from Bargod. Thank you very much for sending that one in.